Okay, you're up.
Okay, it is 6:30 and we're starting the City of Sandy Oaks Park Advisory Committee meeting. Notice is hereby given that a meeting of the Sandy Oaks Park Advisory Committee will be held on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. at Sandy Oaks City Hall located at 4451 Hickory Haven, Sandy Oaks, Texas 78112. For the purpose of considering the following agenda items. All agenda items are subject to action. I'll call the meeting to order and we'll,
John
Do it.
Crickmer here.
yeah, and
Here.
Lou,
Here.
Charles,
Here.
Mickey. We have a quorum, so let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no citizens to be heard, so I'll just
Are you sure?
pass up on that.
Are you sure? He didn't sign
I
it?
asked him already.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Yep.
Excuse me. This plague that I have is not
Allergies.
completely gone. So I'll wait till the mayor gets finished.
There was a fire truck in here earlier.
Yeah, there's a fire.
Oh,
Somebody's house burned down.
oh goodness. Another one? My gosh, that's about one a year.
Fawn Trail and the
Yeah,
Naqua.
Fawn Trail and Minocqua. Mickey has pictures.
Wasn't that other house on Fawn Trail that burned not too long ago?
Yeah, behind J&S.
Mm-hmm. That was like the other
okay.
end of the,
Can I get your name and number? And I can-
There's also possibly a water scammer going around supposedly from Saws, telling people that the water quality.
water
is
treatment cellar.
bad. Yeah.
Oh,
Is that the same people that were putting things on the gates that you're supposed to went straight in the trash?
No, they didn't put one on my gate. But,
oh, selling water softeners or something.
I don't know what they're selling, but Mickey said that someone called her and told her that
Well, there's always something in the water.
they knocked on her.
No matter where you are.
True.
I hope so.
I heard they had both hydrogen
And oxygen in there. Yeah, 2 parts of oxygen, no less.
Out here, it'll just be limestone.
Does anyone know how hard our water is? It's pretty hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's just move on to, the mayor can join in. Agenda item 4, discuss and possible action on initiating, well, this is really her agenda item, so let's skip over to 5. Discuss and possible action on selecting a contractor to paint the playground equipment. And we do have two quotes, still the same one, nobody else has, one for 3,300 and one for 70, I forget what it is now,
Look, 72.
7,200, yeah.
72,000.
Yeah, 7,280 and 3,300. And I know we've discussed this in the past, and
We're gonna paint
I
first
think-
before we do the
yeah,
other
we're gonna
things,
paint
right?
before we do the other things. So I personally like the 3,300 buck one. I mean, they don't give us a warranty, but as Charles pointed out last time, probably after 2 years, if it's shot, it's shot, you know.
My experience with painters, just to be honest, if you go to the yellow pages and start looking up painters, when I led a lot of contracts, I kept yellow pages for like 6 years because most painters disappear in 3 years.
Uh,
So if you get a 5-year warranty,
Yeah, and they're gone. It's
It
just
doesn't-
like roofers.
you know, it doesn't do a lot of good.
Yeah. So, and I,
But
I-
this guy's came from a contract referral service, is that
yeah,
right?
it came from Home Advisor.
Home
so-
advisor, okay.
Yeah, I got others, but soon as I told them what the job was, they bowed out, so.
Okay.
So does everybody agree that we should probably go for the $3,300 one? So somebody
Well,
will make a
I'll
motion?
I'll make a recommendation that we go with the $3,300 bid. And, recommend that to council is for an action.
Yeah, that's what I'll do then. If everybody's in agreement with that? Are there,
Yes.
everybody in agreement, say aye?
Aye.
Okay, so I'll make that, at the next council meeting, I'll make that, request that they approve the People's Choice Painting and Remodeling for $3,300 to paint the playground equipment. We skipped over yours, Mayor, about the agenda
days.
item 4, discuss and possible action on initiating a Sandy Oaks Market Days monthly in the park or a community rummage sale, and maybe the last, and a Christmas craft sale. I think it's too late for a Christmas
Oh,
craft.
it's never too late.
It's never too
Those
late.
last minute gifts. I'm just thinking that there might be people, I know there's a lot of people who are making things to sell, whether it be pie. I saw someone selling apple pies they're making to raise money. Just thought if we made it available, nobody's reserved the pavilion for anything. So it's kind of a free-for-all if we wanted to do that. But I'd like to see something a little bit more regular.
Monthly?
A monthly would be
Quarterly?
great, or quarterly, depending on what it is.
We're gonna need somebody to administer that, and probably a volunteer, because,
Yes and no.
I mean,
Just to kind of be the point of contact.
that and, people fight for position on some of those,
Well, that's true. So when we did the rummage sales up at the shops, basically it was anybody could set up wherever they wanted. We gave them general guidelines, starting here, up against the curb. If you want to, you go that way.
first come, first serve.
First come, first serve.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah. Now, what we have available is we have tables and chairs, so we can provide the tables if they need them.
And shade.
Yeah, and shade.
You're
although-
thinking under the pavilion,
Under the
right?
pavilion, yeah. I think that helps because the kids can play in the park. That was some of the concerns that we had before was people would say, oh, I had to back out because I had my kids. I couldn't,
Yeah.
I couldn't bring them. They weren't comfortable bringing them down to a parking lot where there was traffic. But here they can go play in the park. So.
Right. Absolutely.
But just kind of general ideas on what you guys think. I don't know if people do canning out here. We'd have to look at some of the health
I'm sure some people
regulations.
do, yeah, but when you
look
get
at-
into food, I think we start,
It depends on what it is. Now, if it's baked goods, that falls under the cottage law, and those are not regulated. But you get into prepared foods, it's different.
'cause
So
I'm
if,
sure people want to sell tamales out here, particularly this time of the year. But, so we'd have to have some rules about what type of food
we
stuffs
would.
we could.
And I would make it free. I'm not looking for the city to make any money. I'm trying to figure out a way to engage the community more, make things available. A rummage sale is always good. And with Doug here, I did want to ask you, because I was looking for something I thought I had and I couldn't put my hands on it. If we wanted to do like a farmer's market type thing, we need to understand what's in season. you know, it might not be a good idea to have one in December because I don't know what's available.
Fruit, it gets.
Well, that's true. So there is a lot of citrus that's
Yes,
coming up.
Citrus fruit
Yeah,
and spinach. That's about it.
I got a ton
Okay.
of lemons.
So even if we did a rummage sale, you could still maybe have rummage and include, I mean, it doesn't have to be separate events. It could be,
So, do
One.
we want to set aside one day a month where people can sign up to do it? Like, you know, the third Saturday or the second Saturday? Is that some way that we might want to do it? And that way, put it on the calendar
so
and
it's
put
a
a
usual,
notice?
a regular,
Yeah, so,
regular type thing.
I was thinking we should put it in the newsletter to get the
Absolutely.
word out.
Yeah.
yeah, the newsletter.
Well, the next
and on the
newsletter's not till
website.
March.
Yeah.
So we have some time, but I mean, we have other avenues. Somebody could post it on the, well, I can use the agency account, post it on Nextdoor, or Catherine can post it. We have other social media channels we can use, and word of mouth, you know, it would go. But I'm just kind of curious what other things, so let me give you an idea. I want to make some Christmas ornaments, and they're old school.
Should've been on Pinterest again.
No, I haven't. No, this was in my mind from a long, long time ago.
Scary.
So I bought some balloons, and I bought some yarn, and I bought some glue. And you know what I want to do? I want to make big globes, and I've been saving. I have a whole bucket of all kinds of caps, different sizes and everything. The little applesauce cups, I've been saving those, the little yogurt cups, and you spray paint them, and that becomes the top of the ornament. And then we can hang them on the trees. But I thought, what a great craft idea for kids and adults, if they wanted to come down and spend the day wrapping balloons and making ornaments.
That's a great idea.
Or painting rocks, or, I mean, there's just a number of things that could happen down here.
Well, and that's why we do need a coordinator.
Activities,
Yeah.
yeah.
I also
Because
think that
without having one, it's not going to happen.
Right.
once we have something down here, I think it'll be easier for people to want to.
And I'm hoping
Maybe
that
we
once,
should have a come be crafty day.
well, we could
Bring your
bring
favorite
whatever it
craft.
is that you're working
And
on.
give lessons.
Yeah.
Or put on those media sources, anyone interested in running a craft show at the pavilion.
Or just, I mean, I know like, it's Lily Salazar, I think, who makes all kinds of things. But it doesn't even have to be just our community, but it would be available for our community. Because I know people that live on the other side of the freeway, they do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
So maybe what we'll do, what do you think about doing just a general poll? Let's just pick a date and just ask, maybe pick 2 dates. And just ask a general poll, would you be interested in participating in a craft day? Or, I don't know, get input from the community on doing that. Or would you be interested in being the activities director? That would be,
And
that would be awesome.
ask both of those things.
Yeah.
Because if you have people that are interested in one venue, they may, then, you know, if that's their hobby, they may want to hold something where they can.
Well, I've had people ask me about, can we do this? Well, I'll sponsor it, but you have to drive it.
Well, but here's the
And-
deal. These
and-
type of events, I don't think need council approval. We can just,
Well,
just like we do for the animal control thing, we don't bring to council that we want to have a spay neuter clinic or a vaccination clinic or
That's
whatever.
not what I'm saying.
Oh.
You know, if
They bring it to you, but they don't want to do
If you
it.
bring it to me
Yeah.
and say, you know, hey, can we do this?
Right.
You know, I'll sponsor it. I'll get you a date for the pavilion that,
Just weren't
you
all the
know,
kids you got there.
but then it always dries up because
You know,
nobody wants to drive it.
participation, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we just need to jump and do it, the first one, and then
Yes.
once people see that, like, oh, now
That's
I
a
want to
good
get
idea.
involved, because it's we can ask. I try to do the clothes drive.
Yeah.
There was no help. You know,
Yeah.
I'll drop
Really?
clothes off
Yeah.
to you, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But there needs to be more.
Well, and I do know the rummage sales, we just announced it. We just picked a date, we just announced
yeah,
it.
I think that's what needs to happen.
it's kind of like
So
if
do
you
we
build
wanna
it, they will
start with a
come.
rummage
Yes.
sale and
Let's-
just do that?
That's what I would recommend.
Why don't we do a rummage sale first? Because I think that might be helpful to a lot of families out here if they're just trying to raise a little extra money for the holidays.
And my daughter just came over here and suggested that we have a coat drive. So maybe we can say, come by, drop off your jacket, coats that you don't need. And then if you need a jacket, come by and see if your size is
How about coats and shoes? Just because,
hats.
yeah, winter gear.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's do that.
Your daughter's a humanitarian
She
also.
just like, she raised her hand,
I know
like, what
it.
do you need? She goes, you should do a jacket drive.
Well, and the other thing is kind of on a sort of related thing. We're doing on the 14th of December. We're doing the Santa, all the gifts that we got. Kind of totally unrelated, but I was thinking about doing a food drive along with that, so that we could give food and gifts to the families.
Did we have an angel tree or something?
Check back there. It's a Christmas
we got-
tree. It's not set up for angels yet, but it will be.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
then we can come down and pick
So
it.
there are two things. That would be if somebody wants to come in and nominate a family to be adopted or a specific child or whatever. We have gifts that we can use to fulfill that. The other thing is I'm going to set up a phone number and an email account that people can call or email nominations for families to nominate. And then those families would get an invitation. So it's not a public announced thing on when and where, but those who are nominated get an invitation and they'll come to, Damon has a vacant unit and he's going to let us set up in there. And we'll set up tables and put the gifts out and let them come in and shop
We
for
could do a
Christmas.
combination coat and rummage sale at the same time.
exactly.
And do we need to pick a Saturday to do
We
that?
do. So that's where it gets a little iffy because we don't
Kinda
know what
busy.
the weather.
Everybody's
Well,
busy.
now school is out. The last day of school for the kids is the 19th. So, and we're planning to do our storefront Santa on the 14th, and we're also planning our Santa runs for the 14th and the 15th. So that weekend's going to be pretty busy.
The 14th and the 15th?
Saturday to Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just hard to do it on a Friday with people working
Yeah,
and,
Right.
It
It's
almost
just
has
too
to
hard.
be on a Saturday.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we could do the rummage and the coat drive here in the park on the 14th because the Santa thing is something different. That's a smaller group.
Towing the wagon and all that
That's
throughout everywhere in town.
14th and the 15th. That's the plan. If the weather's bad that weekend, then we're going to do it the 21st and 22nd
So we could do the rummage and coat thing on the 14th.
on the 14th.
So do we want to advertise that on the
Exactly.
website?
And we don't have to get council's approval.
No.
Is everybody in favor of that?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Say
So
aye.
December 14th, what time do you want to do that at?
I would think
Early?
11 o'clock.
I think earlier,
Early,
like
what
9
time
o'clock?
do
I
you
think
usually
9
set
is
the
it.
one up down at the
I think we did
Shop.
9 to 3.
9 to 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do 9 to 3. And so we want, for coat drive, we want new or gently used.
Right.
And all sizes.
Yeah, I mean,
And laundered.
acceptable stuff.
laundered.
We don't want,
Clean,
we don't want
laundered,
rags.
gently used.
I do alterations.
Coat drive and
Sometimes I'm
rummage
like,
sale.
Coat drive and rummage sale.
swaddling
And we can
clothes.
also say that that can include baked goods. The rummage sale can be baked goods, no prepped foods.
And
And how
citrus.
are we gonna put
And
the word
citrus.
out?
We're gonna do the city website, we'll do an agency post on Nextdoor, and then we got a couple of social media accounts that we can use
Is
to
that the
get
same way you put out the shops thing?
Well, except back then I was on Nextdoor and I could do that, but now I
Or
can't.
you got kicked off?
Yeah, I'm gone for good.
You know what would be neat if we had some type of community board out here.
Yes, we're working on getting something together. Trying to figure out where to place it is, a
And
challenge.
they
Do
used
we
to
want it up
have
front?
one, way back when, they had a big.
But it was over there by the
thing
water
right at
tower.
Yeah, right.
Needs to be outside of the gate though, right? So people can see it when
Sure.
the park's closed.
And then you have, of course, potential nuisance to the people who live out there. with traffic and stuff like that, but, I mean, if they're driving
I don't
in,
much care.
you
You
don't-
know, we have very low water pressure here, right?
we do?
Yeah.
In the building or in the
Yeah,
city?
in the building.
Okay,
You know why?
no?
The lady right outside the gate.
Oh, yeah, Miss Sanchez.
Miss Sanchez raised Cain, and Sauls came out
And cut
and
that.
moved the water meter
Yeah.
outside of her fence, which is on the right of way. And they put a 3/4 inch jumper from the 2-inch line to the water meter. So we went from having a 2-inch service here to a 3/4 inch service here.
Yeah, but and
So if that lady gets offended about traffic in front of her house, she needs to move her fence. I'm
her
sorry.
fence is actually,
She got mad at me for stopping there when I closed the gate.
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Is it the
Which
person
lady
that's
is
always
this?
parked in the way when you're trying to leave?
But which side?
Checking
Right
his
or left?
mailbox?
Maybe. I've never had a problem with them.
I've seen him 2 times at least.
I don't know his name, but I know her name.
Okay. And all of that has absolutely nothing to do with,
What we're talking about.
Right.
So I put on here coat drive, rummage sale, include baked goods, and I was going to say and something, and I forgot what it was.
Citrus.
Citrus, thank you.
And
I
crafts.
see the trees out there.
Citrus and well, the rummage sale. I mean, basically. So we'll advertise that it's crafts.
Rummage crafts.
There's no fee. Tables are available.
First come.
First come, first serve.
Yeah, we could get Paul out here, man. He's got a lot of citrus.
There's a lady who was advertising on the other side about
Other
lemons
side.
and oranges or something.
Yeah, who was that?
And $2 a.
Eggs, do eggs have to be?
Eggs are fine too. And you know what?
unless they're cooked.
Exactly. I had a conversation with Bear County Health about food specifically because we wanted to do like a farmer's market. I wanted to make sure that we didn't have any issues with health, that we needed special permits or whatever. And what I was told, as long as the food product is still intact, there's no regulations. If you cut it, it changes the game. So it has to be fully intact. Eggs are okay. So you can't like sell sliced watermelon. You can sell watermelon, but you can't slice it. So
Becomes prepared food.
it becomes something else, yes. Okay, so eggs, craft, citrus, baked goods, rummage sale. We'll do a coat drive at the same time. Okay, first come, first serve, and no fee.
Okay.
Perfect.
And that's on the 14th.
December 14th from 9 to 3.
9 to 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay, yay, yay.
I will then, let's go to,
And, well, before you go on, what I'm hoping that comes from this is where you get your people who are interested in doing this, being
Yeah,
being the
Being a coordinator.
coordinators.
If we have a good turnout,
Yeah.
then we can say, well, let's try this again next
Yeah,
month. And
exactly.
eventually someone will say, okay, I'm.
Or they may have
I will
another
work with
idea
you.
altogether,
True.
which we hadn't thought about, so.
You know, I wish people would actually bring forward ideas.
I think we have
I
enough
think they need to
control
see
for
it
each
and then they're
other
like,
to
okay,
choose
Yeah.
what about
somebody.
yeah,
this?
we don't
Yeah,
want
but
to
you know,
stop
generally people are not, they're more followers or watchers.
Yeah.
The majority of people are there.
All right.
Okay, so I'm moving on to
Number 6.
agenda item 6. Now, I'm wondering, do we want to take this off until we actually paint and then see how to, because, you know, I've heard 15 different ways that we want to put up that shade. So
Yeah.
I think we may want to form a subcommittee once we paint everything and then decide, you know, they can present what they think that how we should erect the shade at a Parks Committee meeting, and then we can decide if we want to use that, or there can be alternate methods, and we can just then decide which way we want to go. Does that make sense?
It does, because we did talk at a previous meeting about paint, or when we were doing our field trip.
Yeah, yeah.
That don't put it up till we
till we
paint it.
paint, yes. So
We'll
I'm gonna
paint it.
take it off for right now.
Okay.
but-
You
Yeah.
might wanna wait till it's summertime, that way you'll know where the sun is.
Well, we
We
got a
can
good
figure
idea
that
where
out,
the
that, we can get that off.
Charles, you were gonna say something?
It does change, but
Yeah.
south doesn't change and west doesn't change.
Exactly. It's just the angle. And we have enough material to address that.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got plenty.
Oh, it's big.
I have looked at there is a video of
Yeah,
that.
I saw that.
And some nice pictures. But the one thing I did notice is there are external guy wires on it. So, we need to make a plan for that also.
Yeah, because they could be dangerous.
They can
particularly
be.
with kids around.
Or old adults.
Watch it.
But,
I used to, when I was a kid, run into them about this level, and I just fall over them, so.
but they could be tied around a tree. They don't have to go at an angle in the ground.
Well, if there's.
I'm just thinking there's other ways to secure it
If
at an
there's an
elevated.
appropriate tree,
Or a
otherwise,
post. We could set a post.
we can set like a 10-foot piece of 2-inch galvanized pipe, 3 feet in the ground, 7 feet. We don't
That's the
have
way to
any,
go.
we don't have any citizens I know of that are gonna hit a guy wire at 7 feet.
Put a warning across it.
Well, I have one that's holding my internet tower, and we put pool noodles on it. I mean, I'm sure there's something more.
No, but that's an idea.
There's something
is
more
so-
sturdy,
Like,
some
can we,
rubber or
like,
something
really
like sleeve.
Do we want
bright
to form a
green.
subcommittee for this? And if so, to come up with a plan and then discuss at a future meeting once the painting's done? And,
Well, let's just hold the whole item, because,
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, we can hold
there's
it
5 or
until
6
that time.
people that show up regularly.
Yeah.
Everybody consider what they think is a good plan, and then I'm gonna make magnificent drawings and sell you on my idea.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. That's what we figured, Charles. Okay, let's see, did I skip anything else?
Okay, we're gonna,
Okay, now we're getting into Charles's. Discuss and possible action on a butterfly garden, that's agenda item 7, and that's one that Charles wanted to put on here. So do you want to take it from there, Charles?
sure, John has snakes. I have butterflies, hummingbirds, and other birds that,
Frequent
that's
your-
my gig.
Okay.
We have started working on our miniature
Yeah,
path out here. And behind this building, we have between the prison fence back here and the boundary fence, we have a nice area there that catches some good sun. And what I'd like to do is put some beds out there and put shrubs and flowers specifically for butterflies, and mulch it all down real nice, put mulch pathways in. All with native flowers and shrubs, because so many people, they go in and destroy $1,000 native tree to put in a non-native tree that doesn't support any of our insects and birds here. So, I'd like to have a butterfly garden set up to show some native flowers and shrubs. I believe I can find a couple other people that will help me build those gardens. If we do it right here, we'll have a semi-controlled access. And most importantly, water, because when we start new gardens, until they acclimate, we're gonna have to irrigate,
yeah, you have to have water.
okay? So, that's what I'd like to work on.
And so are you you're not talking about doing it inside this fence here? You're
Not
talking
inside the
about doing
fence,
outside?
between the fence and the boundary on this side of the circle out here. Because we need sunshine. And if we go around the walk area, which I think we should plant some natives out there, but they're gonna have to be more shady.
Right.
Most butterfly pollinator attractors tend to want more sun than is available under the oak trees out there.
Okay. I think that's a great idea.
And so, tying into agenda item 7 is agenda item 8, which Charles also.
Yeah, because, you know, I'm a native plant fan. We have some fantastic native plants in Bear County. And the Native Plant Society of Texas has $400 grants available. If you're gonna spend the money on native, actually, they're more monarch attractive plants, and if we put in $400 worth of monarch plants, that will more than qualify us also for status as a monarch way station. And when you have a monarch way station, you get people coming in off the highway to take a look at your monarchs.
Remember the discussion with Tony about our master plan?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want Sandy Oaks to be known for? You know, we talked about different things. I mean,
Sure.
that could be one of those things.
Yeah, and the Native Plant Society, I'm trying to talk, you know, can we get one of your really master gardeners out here to look at these 30 acres and
Tell us what
and
would work best.
what we should be doing?
Well, and the reason I asked where you were talking about is if you're going to bring in or expect to bring in a whole lot of butterflies, you have to also be considerate of traffic. You know, we don't want to distract them because we have walkers or we have cars driving in, or you have people in a house that are, who knows, barbecuing or whatever. So I think that's probably a good idea, is bring somebody out to help us figure that out. And could we not, I don't have a green thumb. My sister does all that work. But can you not, I mean, are you talking about full-grown plants? We're talking about starting them smaller, or what are we looking at?
Well, if we're looking at a $400 grant, probably a few like 2-gallon shrubs, and other than that, just starter plants.
I got a ton of seeds from the plant that draws all the butterflies to my place. It has sort of orangish flowers on it. It's tall. It has seed
Milkweed.
pods. What's it called?
Milkweed. It's called tropical milkweed.
Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Yeah, isn't milkweed what the
Butterfly
monarchs
bush.
are
That's what
attracted
the
to?
That's what I call it.
Needs a lot of
yeah.
sun.
We also have pipevine butterflies out here too.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, it
what
doesn't
is?
have to be just
Pipelines?
monarch. I mean, could we
Yeah,
not?
as a matter of fact, there's a
Well,
little plant that grows wild.
the
out here.
$400,
Is
I don't see
specifically for
any
that.
pipelines, but I see
my
the
thought
caterpillars on the
is-
ground.
They grow
What
quick.
if the city were to match the 4?
Oh,
yeah,
really? Pipelines?
there's no rule that you can't have anything but
I always see
monarchs,
their
but the
caterpillars.
$400
Is
needs to
strictly
be
for that.
For
monarch plants.
Okay.
plants. So, do we apply for the 400, or do we have to put the plants in to get the 400?
No, we actually apply for the 400. They grant it in March, which gives you time to get it in and up. Milkweeds are the host plants for monarch caterpillars. Okay, and then adult monarchs take nectar from a wide variety of plants. So if we're putting in milkweed seeds and plugs in March, we'll be in season for the
The butterflies.
the butterflies and the caterpillars.
Milkweed needs to climb, right?
Milkweed needs to climb.
No, they're not climbing.
No, they're freestanding.
There's several
They're
different
pretty hard.
varieties.
Yeah, they're
of
pretty
milkweed.
plants.
some
I like
vines.
the way they look. You know, they're sort of,
Coral vine would make a real nice,
That's a beautiful.
it'd make a real nice screen on the barbed wire prison fence. And it's attractive to
I'm
like
thinking of coral bean.
a dozen different butterflies.
so Charles, would you apply for the grant or would we need to do it as a city?
I could do the paperwork, you know,
That's what I mean,
what,
yeah.
what we need to do, but I think,
The city has to be
I think
there.
the city
the
needs to do
city-
it because it's
Yeah.
gonna be on city property.
Right. I
the city
agree.
needs to do it because being a nonprofit puts us in a step up. You know, schools and city parks,
What are the qualifications for the grant?
you're gonna spend $400 on art plants.
I like those kind of grants.
Yeah,
And, you know, because I have a circuitous mind, once you get approved for one grant, it's easier to get approved for another grant. So, you know, let's get some grants rolling.
Let's do it.
CPS per account too, no, not CPS, SAWS does
SAWS.
the credits for native plants around springtime. Does the,
But I think that's in residential to
Yeah,
keep
that's why I
from
don't
having to
know.
water.
yeah, I don't
That's for
know.
the trees.
Yeah.
I'll throw $100 in, Charles, to get started if you want.
Well, what I was thinking was the city would match whatever the grant is, so we could kind of double the effort. The 400 specifically for monarchs and then the other 400 for
Shrubs or
whatever else for other,
pollinators.
yes.
Get you the milkweed plants probably for nothing or real cheap.
I've got hundreds of seeds.
Well, there you go. So I think your idea is good to bring in somebody that knows, always bring in the experts.
And I'd like to add, can we put some bird feeders out there too? Seeds?
They'll be eating the butterflies.
I don't think they would be. That's what I don't think they would be though, but,
I don't know.
yeah.
They might eat the caterpillars.
Monarchs
Birds will eat
are-
caterpillars.
Monarchs are toxic.
The problem
Birds
you have
don't
with
wanna
the-
eat
with
them.
the gophers and the cutter ants
Yeah.
and the deer,
That's true too.
they're gonna have problems keeping those away.
Yeah, monarchs.
But we could
monarchs
put
are
a
not
netting up.
a tasty treat, so
Right.
birds generally
like-
leave them alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't eat the milkweeds, but they'll eat the other stuff that you.
So, so when do we want
The
to?
answer to that, sir, is plant extra.
That and kill them,
But we will,
the gophers.
That's hard to
Chicken
do.
wire.
That's what I use.
I'd do it.
the
How do you
cutter
kill
ants, we may have to deal with
Oh,
a little more aggressively.
Yeah.
than,
I'm afraid to put bait.
You know,
down because of
gophers,
my
chicken
dogs.
wire,
It's
and
just juicy fruit gun.
deer just plant more and
It's
plant
just
things
gone.
they don't like.
And I hear human hair tied in pantyhose hanging around the perimeter keeps them
Put it
out.
in the hole.
Irish Spring, heard the same thing.
Right.
All kinds of deer deterrents out there. There's actually a plant that the deer don't like, and if you plant that, I can't remember what it
There's
is.
several.
I'll have to go, but you do the perimeter in that, and that keeps the deer out.
The other day we
We're
were
gonna
out
have
here
to
and my,
designate a
my daughter's
someone
found a
to
deer.
keep
I mean,
up
she was
with the-
alive. She was laying
our
down, and they
investment.
snuck up on her, and she saw them, and then she ran off.
Oh.
And then we were walking the trail, and she ran in front of us, and we're like,
Oh,
"Oh,
my
she was
word.
so pretty."
Yeah, it's just the mom and the
It was-
two babes.
They just saw the mom.
Ah.
She was beautiful though. She was real pretty. She was probably distracting us from where the babies were. I told them, like, were there babies? And they're like, no. They must have been hiding there somewhere.
Okay, so we've done 3 things then, right? We
So,
we're
Charles, you're gonna,
recommend the painting. Charles is gonna go for the butterflies. And we're gonna have the rummage / coat / fruit / baked goods thing on the 14th. 9
big
to
market
3.
day.
I think
Right.
it'll be fun.
Okay?
I think it will be fun, yeah.
Sounds good?
I'll be here at 9 o'clock with
And-
some,
Well, and the,
I think, jackets and a couple of hoodies.
Couple hoodies.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So, item 9, we adjourn at 7:10.
Perfect.
okay.